Hey guys, Jakester here. So we're in Assetto Corsa Competizione and driving the Porsche 911R during the actual career mode I'm trying to complete here. And we're here at the Nurburgring GP at night, 9 o'clock at night. Uh, just adds more challenge to this race. I qualified in P1, but driving at night is pretty sketchy. It's pretty dark on this course. Hard to pick out points and things of that nature. So coming down in turn one here, I get way too hot. Tires aren't grabbing or anything like that. Overshoot. The Audi crisscrosses on me and gets in front of me. And the Audis in these are pretty quick in this sim. They're pretty quick cars, but they can be caught for sure. So, it's a 10-minute sprint race essentially, with a mandatory full complete pit stop. And it looks like in career mode they're just trying to get you familiar with all the ins and outs of Assetto Corsa Competizione and what to expect in a race, an actual race. So you have to do full pit stops and make sure your rev limiter's on and all things of that nature, which is good. It's educational, if you will. So I'm really having a hard time with my throttle pedal and just modulating it, because otherwise, like right there, I just start to get a little sideways and start slipping, and it's not good. So I noticed that I'm way too much on the fuel, and it's just making the car want to spin out. So during this whole race, I was just trying to modulate, as you can hear and see by my RPMs and hear the motor up and down. I'm just trying to coast, if you will, through the corners and then get on the throttle nice and smooth coming out of the corners. Slow in, fast out, right? I struggle with the chicane. Guys I race with in the league were trying to help me out here to get me a little quicker through there, but still can't get that chicane figured out just yet to haul butt through it, and I lose a good 2 seconds per lap, every lap on that chicane, or at least a second. So as you can see here, the Audi's just pulling away from me. I catch him in the corners, but then he just pulls me in the straights. And even though the Porsche, this 911 is really good on acceleration, it's just with the night racing, it's just very hard to see and catch my points, my turn-in points and my braking points. So I wasn't very confident to go balls out. I'm trying to catch him, but at the same time I'm also making sure that I'm not sliding through the corners and spinning out. That wouldn't do me any good. I figure a podium is good. If I can stay at least in the top 3 and get a podium, I'd be happy with that. The Schumacher S was throwing me off too. Usually I can hit that pretty well and get through there at about 105, 110, depending on how well I hit it coming into it. But at night, I just lose all sense of speed and distance and all that good stuff. So I was really struggling just to get through this and get a top 3 finish. See, and again, I'm just tiptoeing through that chicane in the very front of it. So I figured out in this career mode, the pit lane in these 10-minute sprint sessions, the pit lane opens, and it's a mandatory pit lane. Like I said earlier, you have to do a complete tire change, and you can also do suspension and damage and all that if you have it, or you can uncheck those boxes. You'll see when I go into the pits, I uncheck them because I didn't have any damage. So I just wanted as little time in there as possible that I could complete the pit stop and get out of there and carry on. And I'm still trying to figure this out. I don't even know if I could even not do tire changes, tire swaps. I don't think that would be possible, but it looks like they allow you to uncheck that box too for new tires. But I didn't want to risk it because, gosh forbid, they would say I need to come back in or do and stop and go or something like that, and then it would just blow my race. So through the whole career mode so far, I've always been just replacing tires. And all the while it's building up all my, not medals, but ratings up there in the top right corner. Car control, safety rating. I did notice that the smoother you are, the higher your ratings go and the faster they go up. So even though I'm tiptoeing through a lot of this, it still increased my ratings overall. So here we come into the pits and you can see I'm going through the HUD right there, or the MFD on the left. And I also learned that in order for the pit lane limiter, the automatic pit lane limiter that you can select to work, you have to be in first gear. I tried going in second gear and it didn't work, and yeah, it was a disaster in another race. So, but you could also see that I unselected the suspension and damage and all that down below, so that not to take up too much time. So it looks like it's only 22 seconds for a tire change, and I think that's what they mean by a complete pit stop. If you know otherwise, feel free to leave a comment below. But this is still just trial and error for me since it's came out. I mean, I got the early edition or the beta version, but it didn't have all this stuff with it just yet until the actual full release last week, or what it was. Yeah, last week. But I love the game. The graphics are awesome. On my PC that I built a couple months ago, my PC that I built is a pretty whammy jammy PC, and the graphics are just phenomenal on it. So I'm very pleased with this game. The graphics, the audio, and the physics, force feedback. I like the force feedback on this. I'm just running the Thrustmaster T300 RS with T3PA pedals and a TH8 shifter when I'm not using the paddles. And it seems great, you know. But anyway, so getting back to the race, that pit stop, as I was saying earlier, I've noticed in these 10-minute sprints, it's more advantageous to wait for the halfway point of the race before you pit. I've pitted it as soon as the pit window opens, and the whole group of cars, all the other 15 or 16 cars, just go flying by me, and I never am able to catch up to get into first position again. So it seems like the method is to wait to the half minute or the halfway point through the race and then pit. And then you're either in front of most of the pack, like I was here, being in second place, and you just have P1 to deal with, or sometimes you can come in and get out ahead of P1. But as you can see here, I came out behind the first place guy in first place in the Audi and just struggling. I think he was like 5 or 6 seconds ahead of me. I was trying to catch up to him, but I had nothing for him in this nighttime racing here. It's just so dark. So at this point, you know, obviously there's less than a minute in the race, and I'm just thinking, just get through it. Don't spin. Keep your ratings increasing, and take home a P2 position, which I was, you know, going to be happy with, and move on to the next career races. Which after this is the last race of the 10-minute sprint career races, and now I'm actually starting in the endurance racing part of it. And I think they're 20-minute sessions. which I haven't done a race just yet, but the practice sessions are 20 minutes. If somebody knows differently, again, post a comment down below the video here. But they might be 20-minute practice sessions and then maybe 30 or 40-minute or 60-minute endurance races, which would be fun, which would make sense. 20-minute race is not an endurance race. 45-minute minimum for an endurance race, and then usually an hour to 3 hours or more. So yeah, the time has elapsed completely. Now I'm just taking it easy, going through the Schumacher S. Just tiptoeing through it. Just keeping it nice and tidy and smooth. Guy in third place, I think, was like 10 seconds behind me. 11 seconds. So I had plenty of time. He wasn't going to catch me as long as I kept it at half pace that I was doing, half the pace that I was doing. Coming through that lovely chicane for the last time, bringing it up to the last corner. And there she has it. I think there's a glitch because it automatically says P1, and that wasn't true. The longer you wait for this, it does actually turn into the session result was P2, and I think I got a silver, not a gold. But anyway, so that was that career mode race, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. Give it a thumbs up if you like it, and subscribe to my YouTube channel at Jakester1168. And make sure you hit the notification button so you don't miss any future races. And let me know your thoughts on this. What you think of ACC? I love it. I race some other sims as well, but I'm really liking this ACC Competizione right now. So yeah, let me know what you think, and I will see you in the next one.